Hello my little wolf pups, Wolf here, and welcome to another video. Wow, I can't believe we're already on year 6 of Talonclan, but this year was a big doozy. This is a part of a series, so if you guys haven't seen the first part, I'd go recommend watching that and then coming back to this video. Actually, to start us off, we actually have an animatic because someone rolled to have a burn-in game this year, so I was able to use my fire generator, so it's going to be really fun, and sadly some cats did pass away. Morning Current woke up to the smell of smoke and the sound of burning bushes. He didn't know what was going on, so he slowly opened his eyes and looked around, seeing embers in the air. He slowly got up, sounding the alarm to the other warriors in the den, and hoped and prayed that the others would be safe as he went and gathered the others, hoping that the other cats in the clan will be safe as chaos erupted. Somewhere on the edge of the territory, 2 cats were running for their lives quickly through the harsh smoke as it was tearing through the land. Bella was in front of her daughter, quickly making runs for it. She knew that there was a creek just a few miles from here that if they got to there, they would be safe. Bella looked at their surroundings as they ran to make sure that they had a straight path and didn't have to worry about any debris. But as she looked up, she looked at something in shock and horror. There, in a tree above them, a big log was about to fall on both of them and crush them. She knew what she had to do, right then, right now. She dug her claws into the dirt so that she could stop her speed as she slowly came to a stop and made sure that her daughter went in front of her. She took one last glance at her daughter as if saying goodbye without her knowing it. She knew that only one of them had a chance to survive. There was no way that they could outrun the log. But maybe she could protect her daughter one last time. So with a heavy heart, she let her daughter pass her just enough, though, that she could get a hold of her. She bit down on her daughter's scruff, and with a heavy sigh with all of her strength, she let go. Her daughter went flying, crashing far beyond where the tree would land. However, for her, she knew that her time was coming to an end. So, with a smile on the face, she calmly said, "It will be okay, you're safe now," as the stump slowly came crashing down on her. It covered her view of her daughter in an instant. She didn't know if she died then, or a few minutes or a few hours, but all she cared about was that her daughter was safe. Falling Paw was stuck there. She had just turned over onto her stomach to see where her mother had once been. Now lay a log. She didn't know what to do. She just stared there for minutes, hours. She did not know, but for certain, she knew that something was wrong as she started coughing. She knew it was from all the smoke in the air, but yet she couldn't leave. Not yet. She had to save her mother. She just needed to gain her strength. But suddenly, someone showed up right next to her. It was her sister, Gingerpaw. She had come to get her. She had come to rescue her. She told her what happened to their mother. She said nothing at the time. She just grabbed me as the world faded to black. Somewhere else on the territory, 2 cats were trapped in a cave together. One very young, and the other a very old cat that was clearly sick and couldn't move anymore. "Sparktooth, you should really get going. There's no hope for me. I'm too weak to move," Cloudshade said, looking at their companion with loving eyes and affection that they have had since they joined the clan many years ago. "You know I can't do that. I'm a doctor. You're my responsibility. This is the medicine den. I should be here for you," he snapped back. "Rubbish," they said, coughing up another hairball. "You need to go. You still have time. For me, I know this is the end. But for you, your life is just beginning." The smoke started to reach in this cave as Sparktooth said, "No, You're my bestest friend. I will not let you die alone. And even if I die, I won't let you be alone. That's a promise. I swear to you, I won't let you die alone. You know, you have such a big heart but such a stew brain. As if that's what you wish, I will not stop you. As the flames and fire and smoke, it consumed them and they faded to black into nothingness. Close to them, running as quick as they could through the fire and Marybush, trying to find an exit. However, Iron was met with a wall of stone and a fire at his back, slowly trapping him in. He didn't know where he went wrong. He was always paranoid. He always knew where best stuff was. But even then, that was his downfall. His panic, his paranoia, is what brought him here, brought him alone to die, as he could hear other cats wailing and running away close by. Shineville that was lucky that she found Bean Flick passed out and was able to carry him to where the river ran and where the fire stopped. She could hear Grousebite right behind her, coughing and sputtering, but she will do her best to help him after he gets out here and actually asks for help. But for right now, her main objective is getting Bean Flick to the center place of where they'll be safe. Grousebite was breathing heavily every step of the way as he finally made it his way to the water edge where the fire stopped spreading. He breathed a sigh of relief as he saw some of his friends and family already gathered here. He hoped that Bea would show up soon. They needed their leader after all. Even though he was deputy, he didn't feel like right now he could give the strength to the clan that they needed. As he touched the water, he slowly felt his whole body shutting down. No, he couldn't yet. The cats needed his help. Their leader was nowhere to be found, so they needed to look to him. But his body failed him, and everything, even his little small tail and ears, went down. And is this really the end? He thought, as one final time, as he went into unconsciousness. So let's start off right into StarClan, and our first cat that sadly passed away was Orange Smoke. She died to a Wolverine this year. The most she did this year was get an apprentice. She got her little sister, and then she went out on a solo patrol, and she sadly passed away while her apprentice was in the medicine den recovering from a sprain. I'm so sad to see her go. She just seemed like the most responsible cat, but yeah, next is her mother. Bella sadly died in the fire, protecting a fallen paw, as you saw in the animatic. I thought she wasn't a bad cat. I think she was just misplaced, so that's why she went to StarClan. And the only thing she did was make relationship drama, so it wasn't that bad. But sadly, the next cat is Iron, and he died alone, scared in the flames, and that was on him because he was so paranoid and basically pushed everyone away. But next up in StarClan is sadly our lovely medicine cat. Sparktooth this year had a really good year. He actually got an apprentice this year, which was really cool, and he was hanging out with the elders a lot. That's why he was in the medicine den with sadly Cloudshade as the fire happened, because Cloudshade had caught a green cough, and yeah, that led to that scene and them both sadly perishing. But as for Cloudshade, they this year were doing good. They were caught outside the clan a lot and in the medicine den, but I don't think they were sick. I think they were just trying to help out in the medicine den. I was thinking about making them a temporary medicine cat if Sparktooth didn't get an apprentice, but luckily he did. But it's so sad to see these two go. They had a lovely friendship. But let's move on to our living cats. So we still have Beastar, but he lost 3 lives to the fire this year. which sucks, but he's still alive, but he does have smoke damage. So yeah, he has weak lungs right now. After Orange Smoke died, he took her apprentice on and trained her. I feel like that he felt a little guilty because of his lives that Ginger Smoke couldn't train their apprentice anymore, so that's why he did it. Other than that, he and Beamflick actually had a litter of 2 kits this year, which is really cute. They had 2 little girls, and yeah, that's pretty much for Beastar. Now let's move on to Beamflick. This year, as you saw as a asthmatic, he passed out, but luckily he didn't get any smoke damage. He was just got sick and was saved by Shine Willow, which was really cute. He's been like the den dad, hanging out with the kids a lot and the apprentices. He sadly has retired, so no apprentices for him, but he has still been going out and helping the cats train. He was seen sunbathing with a few of apprentices for a few moons, which I think is really sweet, and I think he's just like the clan grandpa, always trying to help and stuff. But yeah, they have 2 kittens that you'll meet later that are now apprentices. But that's all for our leader and his mate. Now let's move on to our deputy that finally has gotten with Goldflick. Yeah, this happened on the last moon of the year, so I think Goldflick was waiting because of all that happened and Bella's death, because he did grieve her. I think in the end he did love her, but he just didn't know Polly was an option, so after she died, he was able to release those emotions, and Grousebite and these guys got to become mates. Individually this year, Grousebite was actually questioning his ability to lead, which was so sad, but he is reassured by both Goldflick and Fawnheart, which I think is really sweet because those are his closest friends. If you look in his relationship bar, like both of those are maxed out platonically, which is so cute. He also chased off a lot of small dogs this year, which is awesome for him to show off his leadership skills. And he also helped a kitty pet off the territory that didn't want to join, which is nice of him to be considerate, even though he's a little cold and seems mean. He isn't. He's just a little rough around the edges. And plus, now that he has his partner, he's trying to cool down a little bit and not be as mean. I think it was just mostly jealousy. He also got an apprentice this year, and the first time they went out, they practiced climbing, which was kind of funny because his apprentice like fell out of a tree, but he like wasn't listening to Grousebite, so I guess it was on him, so that was kind of funny. Speaking of Goldflick, this year he also got an apprentice. Both he and Grousebite got one of Fawnheart's kits this year, which was really cool, and I think Beastar did that on purpose because he knew that Fawnheart trusts these 2 with her lives. But anyway, the first day out, he and his apprentice went and caught a lot of squirrels. They tried to escape, but they kept just grabbing them, which was kind of funny. And then later in the year, they went and was tracking a fox, and his apprentice had the fox by the throat, which he was really impressed by, but he was also very scared because the specific apprentice seems to be running into danger. So yeah, he's been a little stressed, but other than that, he's also been hanging out with his biological daughters some, and they went out for a good hunting patrol where they stalked a wolf pack and just to see what they were doing. And then yeah, that's pretty much for these guys this year. Now let's move on to our medicine cats. First up, we have the kit that was apprenticed by Sparktooth. This is Spiderpaw. He joined the clan as an abandoned kit at the very ripe age of 4 moons, and then he immediately wanted to become a medicine cat because thinking of hurting another cat sent shivers down his spine. So yeah, he's adventurous and like splashing in puddles. So I don't know how good he'll be in the role, especially with this new messing cat that kind of scares me a little bit. This is Humphrey. She joined on the last moon of the year, so I can't say much about her. But she's bloodthirsty and she was personally invited by our leader because I think he knew that apprentice messing cat needed someone to train him. And also it's said in her bio that StarClan Visions brought her to the clan. So hopefully she isn't a bad cat. She's just here. So yeah, that's our messing cats for this year. Next up, we have our first ever mediator. So, Sweet Flint decided to come out of retirement and start working as a mediator. This boy seems to went down for a moon and then just was like, nope, that's not for me, and got right back up and said, I want to work. So, yeah, he's here. I'm kind of hopeful for the guy. I think he's just kind of a workaholic, but hopefully he'll do good as a role as a mediator. So, yeah. So, next up is Theo, and this poor boy lost his hotel to the fire. I didn't draw it, but what happened was that in game I got a sprite that someone got burnt, and that was Theo, and I rolled the damage to see what happened to him, and he lost half of his tail to the fire, which sucks. I was going to draw it, but then I realized it wouldn't make sense. So yeah, he lost some of his tail, but otherwise he's been relaxing in camp, and he also has a big crush on Morning Current, which is super cute, and that's kind of it for him. He got a few great catches, and then he also tracked a big dog around camp on a big patrol with Beastar and Beanflick, which was fine. But yeah, that's all for him. Now let's move on to Morning Current. So Morning Current this year has been the yes man pretty much to the deputy and the leader. He's been going out on patrols with both of them and trying to make sure that the clan has been safe and has been tracking a lot of dogs, especially with Acorn, and both of them have crushes on Theo, which is kind of cute. And Theo has a crush on Morning Current, a big one on him, but he has a slight crush on Acorn Nest, so maybe future Polly. But these guys are old, so I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much for Morning Current this year. But let's move on to Acorn Nest. So this year, she actually saved from Kits from drowning, which was really cool of her. And then she also was tracking badgers pretty much, and he was also helping Morning Current with the dog situation. So she's just been trying to be helpful around the clan. She still has a crush on Beastar, but it's gone pretty much now. And she pretty much has a big crush on Morning Current and Theo. So I wonder if she'll ask them out, but I doubt it because of the whole situation before. But yeah, she is pretty much chilling, and yeah, that's pretty much for these two. They just seem like the senior warriors of this clan, and I love them. So yeah, now let's move on to our next cats. So Fawnheart and Wiggly Antler have had the best year this year. They've been really cute going out hunting and stuff, and they had a litter of kits this year, which are now apprentices, as I mentioned in Grouse Bites and Goldflakes sections. Individually, they have just been running around catching prey. They also found goats and were betting which one would win, which was super cute together. Other than that, Wiggly Antler has been trying to spend more time with one of her daughters and trying to convince her just to go for it if she loves the cat she likes, because she's getting upset and she wants grandkids a little bit. But other than that, they have just been playing around, running through the forest and catching prey. And on a moon, one of their sons gagged at them being lovey-dovey, which I found really funny. But anyway, let's move on to the newly named Fogflight. Yeah, that's the name that won, which is a really good name for him. He's been doing well. He feels kind of bad because on the generator it said he tried to also save the elders, which was sucks because that means that he was trying to save both Sparktooth and Clear Cloudshade, which was so sad. But other than that, he's been having a good year. He got up Woodeye, Fawnheart, and Wiggly Antler to do some morning stretches. So I think he's trying to take his warrior duty seriously and make sure everyone's in shape to make sure that doesn't happen again. He's also been having the thoughts of becoming a mediator a lot. So let me guys know if you want me to change him to a mediator if the game doesn't do it for him. Now, Wood-Eye this year, this girl, she has relationship drama. She is crushing on both sisters, and they all have romantic like for each other. So I don't know who she's gonna pick, but then she's also started getting a crush on the third sister, which isn't even interested in her and has some dislike. So yeah, other than that, Wood-Eye has been training the apprentices, and she also has been practicing battle moves by herself, and she actually drew blood during battle training and told it was an accident. I think it was an accident. I think she's just really passionate about protecting her clan, and yeah, she just seems like a little bit of a player, but hopefully she's a good cat deep down. I don't know what to feel about Wood-Eye, but now let's move on to the lovely Featherstorm. This girl has it down bad, and I feel so bad for her. This year she tripped over a stump in a storm, which sucked, and she sprained her paw for a moon. But luckily, it was just a sprain, and she got right back up. On another moon, though, she did chase off a dog. Just a small one, though, so it's not that impressive. And then a moon afterwards, she was asking for advice from her sister, Shinewell, which I don't think Shinewell is the best person to give advice, but okay. But that's pretty much for her year. She's just been asking for relationship stuff. But now on to Shine Willow. She has it down bad for two she cats, a raccoon curl and breeze spot, which they like her back and they all like each other. And I'm like, just get together. But what's sad is that breeze spot rejected her, which is sucks. But yeah, that's pretty much for her. She's just crushing. Now, Sandy Dawn has been relaxing in camp, just chilling. She also has a crush on Wood-Eye, but she's also crushing on another cat, which I'm glad for, which is one of Bella's and Golden Flick's kits, which maybe when that kid's a little older, but other than that, she has been hunting, and she actually tracked down a badger. And then she also was accidentally ate prey out on patrol, but brought enough back that no one noticed, luckily. But now let's move on to the most controversial girl in clan right now. So Breeze Spot rejected both Raccoon Curl and Shine Willow. I don't know why. What the hell, girl? You like them. I don't know. And then she had the status asking her mom for relationship advice, basically, which I found super funny. And I think her mom's just like, go for it. Take both of them as your mates. And I want this Polly so bad, but I don't know if Breeze Spot can handle it because this girl has been a mess. She missed a catch out on patrol, and then she also was talking to birds one moon. Honey, honey. But moving on to her sister, that's actually in a relationship now. So yeah, at the last minute of the year this year, Silver Stripe and Mossy Gale got into a relationship, which I think is really cute, and I feel like it's character development for Silver Stripe specifically. Most of the year, he's been regretting his actions, but not with Mossy Gale. Whenever they're out and about, he's like, I'm lucky to have this girl by my side, which is super cute. And yeah, individually, Silverstripe actually started making up with his dad, and they have had a really cute interaction of botting moss balls back to forth together, which is super cute. He was also hanging out with the kids, giving them badger rides, which is so new for him and character development. He's still too scared to tell the clan what he did, but I think pretty soon he might. Because he's been getting statuses of he wants to tell the truth to the clan, so I think he really does regret his actions, and I think what happened, it was just a stricken of grief. But on to Masigil this year. She's had the statuses of wanting to improve the clan. She's been doing a lot of insight by herself. She has stretched, she's gone on solo hunting, and yeah, she has just been relaxing around camp, and she's also been play fighting with Silver Stripe. So that's all for them. Now let's move on to Leaf Dapple, that is trying to look as proud as possible. He has been having sasses of wanting to get the leader and deputy to notice him, so I think he wants to be deputy one day when Grosbite becomes leader, if he does. He's also been looking out for his siblings, practice training with them. And yeah, that's pretty much for him this year. Now let's move on to Raccoon Girl that doesn't understand why the girl of her dreams rejected her. Her and Shinewill actually have been going out on patrols a lot and been playing in the forest, and basically I feel like they've been talking about Breeze Spot, and basically they have a high love bar as well. So I wonder if Shine Willow and Raccoon Curl will gain a relationship, and then they'll add Breeze Spot to be realized, yeah, Polly's an option. But anyway, let's move on to the oldest now of Bella's kits. This Clove Fade has had a year. She's been questioning about leaving the clan, but that's pretty much it for her. She's been having that like 3 times, so I think she's missing her mate. She was also seen lingering on the clan border for a Pacific cat. And yeah, I think she's just been having questions about the clan. So Frogfuzz this year has had a decent year. He actually caught a wandering kitty pet and helps them home, and he also chased off rogues by himself, which this mad lad. And he's also been crushing on a Pacific cat that's in his age range that he basically grew up with. He's been crushing on Orchid Blur a lot, and also Rainflower, which is very interesting. He's just been that, but he hasn't let that get in the way of his duties. He's been seen with trying to prove himself as a good cat, and maybe wants to be deputy one day. I don't know, but hopefully he stays around for a while because I love him. He just seems like a really sweet, playful guy. He was also seen playing with the kits and telling them stories, which is so cute. But yeah, that's all for Frogfuzz this year. So Rainflower and Kestrel this year are like side characters. All they do this year have been chasing off small dogs and accidentally eating prey from the other territories. They both of them at separate times have stilled prey from the Icy Clan border, which ouch, because out of all the clans, Icy Clan is known for their starvation and death because of hunger, which hurts a lot. But yeah, that's kind of all these two have done this year. But the only other big thing is they both have big crushes on each other. But yeah, they're just like always on patrol when I randomly roll. And they've just been hanging out, and they were seen on the moon play fighting and sunning themselves, taking turns. So yeah, these guys have just been very relaxed, very demure, don't care about the world. So yeah. This year, Orchid Blur actually got herself an apprentice. So yeah, she got Fallen Paw as an apprentice this year. They're still working at it, which I think is really cute, and they have The first day out, they actually spotted a dog out in the territory, and they slowly tracked it to make sure it didn't hurt the clan. But yeah, that's pretty much for her this year. She's just been relaxing. Now let's move on to the 13-old Coldpaw. So this boy is the first of the last litter of leopard prance and milkweed thistle. He was mentored by Fawnheart, and then he was honored for his tranquility at his leader ceremony at 12 moons old, so he just became a warrior. And yeah, he's a big boy, and he also has a muscle tension, so he has kind of brittle bones some days. But yeah, other than that, the first time he was out, they encountered goats bucking, and he and Fawnheart made bets on who was going to win. But yeah, that's all for him. Now let's move on to his sisters. Now this is Crocus Pool. She was mentored by Wood Eye, and she was honored for her humor, actually, which makes sense. She just seems like a really funny cat. And she just seems to want to make jokes all the time, and she seems kind of lazy too. She had multiple statuses of not wanting to go out on the dawn patrol and stuff, so I think she just wants to be a laid-back cat and not want to do her warrior's duties, which is completely fine, but that's the opposite of her sister, Sun Poppy. She was mentored by her brother, Leaf Dapple, and then when she graduated, she was actually honored for her hard work, which is really interesting. She just seems like a really nice cat. On the first patrol they went out, she broke down crying, actually, and had to be comforted by her brother because she felt like she wasn't good enough. But yeah, that's all for the 3 siblings. Now let's move on to the newly named Ginger Smoke. So this is Ginger Smoke. She graduated at 13 moons old, and she was honored for her spirit. She was originally Orange Smoke's apprentice, but then she was given to Beastar after her passing, and I think that's why she was named Ginger Smoke after her sister, which I think was really sweet and cute. Other than that, on her first patrol, she caught a mouse by herself, and then she also saved her sister from the smoke insulation. But yeah, that's pretty much for Ginger Smoke. Now let's move on to her sister. Now, Fallen Paw still hasn't earned her warrior name, and she's feeling bad about it. And she still doesn't know what to do. She still feels lost and is grief-stricken still from her mother's death, so that's why she still isn't a warrior. But other than that, on her first patrol, she actually caught a bird, which was very impressive. But yeah, hopefully Fallen Paw will have a better year this year. Now let's move on to the Beanflick and Beastar kits. Now this is Burpaw. Burpaw was actually given to Sun Poppy as an apprentice, and the first thing they did was ask to learn advanced battle moves, so if that tells you what type of cat she is. She just seems like no nonsense and a really cute cat, but she's very, very feisty and charismatic. A very different contrast from her sister. That is Flarepaw, and she was given to Featherstorm as an apprentice. And the first thing they did out on patrol was actually catch a bird too. She seems to be the more level-headed of the 2 sisters. Burpaw is genetically related to Beanflick, while Flarepaw is Beastar's genetically related kit. So because cats can have different dads. So yeah, and their adopted mom actually rolled to have Uptus. So yeah, now let's move on to the rest of the kits in the Oppressed Den. So these are the 3 kittens of Wiggly Antler, and Fawn Heart. And now these three kittens are all biologically Fawn Hearts with the help of a donor. The donor rolled to have lion tails and uh, lion cuffs. So yeah, that's you can see me trying to figure out how to do them, and I eventually figured out. But anyway, let's move on to the kids. So the first one and the oldest is Dry Paw. He is very strict, and he was actually given to Grousebite. He's their apprentice, and they learned how to uh, eat hunt on their first patrol, but sadly they did miss their mouse, which was kind of funny. But next up, and the reason why I say they're genetically fawn hearts is because we have Dark Paw, and I'm letting her have it. He is a very lonesome cat out of all of the three of them, and he was the one that was given to Wood Eye again as another apprentice, which was very interesting. And then the last one, which I have already talked about a little bit in Golden Flick's introduction, is Green Paw. She just seems like a little character, and I love her. Uh, and other than the stuff I've talked about, they just seem like really curious kittens. So hopefully they'll be good warriors in the future, and hopefully they survive. And next up is our only elder right now. Pickle has joined the elders, and she's living the best life. She has been begging apprentices to do tick duty, and she has also been telling the kids and apprentices a lot of stories about her time as a loner and a kitty pet, which is really cute. Yeah, but that's all for her this year. And yeah, that's all for Talonclan this year. Hopefully you joined the video. If you want more Talonclan, you should totally check out the Discord. We're active out there and we talk all Talonclan and other clans. We also have a family tree if you're interested in that. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys later. Peace.